this winter and we can just press on with the business of being school. This morning's assembly, I'm going to hand over to Logan, who wants to speak to us this morning about something that has been on his mind for some time. So over to you, Logan.
Good morning, all of you, and welcome to my Fairtrade assembly. This morning, I would like to experience with you this morning the theme for Fairtrade fortnight. Hope you had a brilliant couple of days in the snow like I did. I was here about photo. So let's start. So this theme for Fairtrade fortnight is Come On In, which happened last Monday till this Sunday coming, the 11th of March at 12 o'clock it ends. Main sponsors for Fairtrade fortnight this year are Devon Eon, and just the logo which is called in. I'd like you to do this for me, please, this year. It's for 2018, we're asking you to come on into Fairtrade, to stand with farmers and close the door on explanation. Invite others to your fortnight events. Show them the difference that Fairtrade can make. Just a fact for you, which I received in the post a couple of weeks ago, which said, it's a shocking fact that millions of farmers who produce the food for us aren't going well. And I really, really like this one, and I hope you like it as well. Have a great Fairtrade fortnight. Have you, hands up, if you've seen that poster around in school? Around the school. Only a couple of you? That's weird, because I put it around the school, so I'll get some more posters up, ASAP. It's a big competition, which we as a school are going to enter, and it's called the Fairtrade Fortnight Award for Best Activity in a School. You can speak to me or Mr. Whaley about this. The deadline, as you can't see very well, is Friday the 16th of May this year. But I will put up on the week before, there's only 2 weeks left for it. I'm now going to show you the 90-second campaign video which I've chosen.
Moyo mwanga munasitika pamuyanga wasikundisi ku chifukwa cha Fairtrade. Tinagula ambulance kusukwandizi anda kumakungu akulu nendimaona ngati chotuti anthu akumalira kamba ka maambulance omwewo njatha kumambesa kuti chinthu ichi chothandiza zimene zikuthandiza lerozi patakhala kuti mawa Fairtrade yatha tizakhalabe moyo wodandaula ndi mawa kwafauna mulungu wovuta.
Okay, so that was the 90-second campaign video.
Can I first of all say, should we say thank you to Logan? I know there's a bunch of teachers that have a sleepless night in the idea that they might have to do an assembly. This guy's actively coming to me saying, I want to do an assembly, I feel passionate. And those of you that have ever done an assembly know that often to get the tech to work, it's so last minute. And that was just like then. The PowerPoint took ages to load, so he just stepped up and did it, so well done. Okay, there are my Nike Air Evian. Obviously, I shouldn't really joke. I just wanted to kind of use just about 5 minutes of Logan's assembly to do a bit of a geography lesson. Because why not? It's the best lesson of the week. Ingenuity. You know, I kind of joke and I smile about that. But the idea that this guy has made himself a pair of flip-flops to protect his feet because he doesn't have shoes. I don't know, to some of us like, wow. Okay, let's get back to Snapchat. Wow. Oh yeah, let's get back to Instagram. Like, how often do we really think about how difficult life is for some people? Over the last couple of days, we couldn't get to school, some of us. And I suppose for most of us, we knew it was only 2 days, because by the weekend they forecast rain, and it was actually just pretty exciting. You wouldn't have thought that if you went to any of the shops, and even yesterday, I went to Lidl, and there was still no bread. What are my boys going to do? Lincoln has Nutella sandwich for breakfast. What is he going to do? He's going to have Mentos or something instead. But there's no vegetables. And I know that over in Clovelly and over to the west of us here, there's been no water. There was a burst pipe. Oh.
Been without water since Saturday.
Since Saturday.
Not fun.
Not fun or easy. And I can see why you're sat on your own today. One of the fathers in the junior school was telling me they've had to melt snow to flush the toilet. And actually, all of those things, a bit of an inconvenience, but some of us really have those little inconveniences and have really appreciated how comfortable life can be for us, and actually is for us. So going back to the idea of fair trade, there are a lot of people that think charity begins at home. Why are we giving money to poor countries? Why is Miss Bateman, Hermione and Mr Crossman, why are they thinking about raising money to build a banda in Uganda? Why on earth are they bothering? Charity should begin at home. We ain't got enough money at the NHS. But then you realise, actually, how comfortable our lives are. How ridiculously comfortable. Just a few inconveniences over a few days, not being able to flush the toilet, have a shower, just fill up our water bottles. And it is really, really difficult. But this is life for loads of people. I'm going to just skip that, hopefully. There. My A-level geographers have seen this cartoon. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really powerful. There's so much geography in that one cartoon. It kind of shows the Grant Line. My year 11s and my 6th formers know the Grant Line. Willie Grant, 1981, divided the world into 2 halves. The haves and the have-nots. The rich north and the poor south. That's kind of not the case anymore. It's a little bit out of date, but it shows that quite well. It shows this poor little guy with a begging bowl. You know, this poverty at the bottom half of the world. Those with and those without. And look at all the money locked in a safe. Not just wealth, it's actually locked away. Fair trade stops this. Fair trade, by us buying stuff that we want and enjoy, can reduce this. It means that farmers know how much money they're going to get for the crops that they grow. And if you know how much money you're going to get for the crops that you grow, you can take a loan. You can invest in some machinery. Because you know how much you're going to get for the crops that you grow, you can invest in machinery and produce more crops. And it goes on. And the more crops that country can grow and sell means more money, foreign exchange, more money coming into that country. So the government get more tax and they can invest in water supplies. in education, in roads. So really, and Logan is your man to talk to, the amount of research he's done is quite unbelievable. If you're interested to find out a little bit more about Fairtrade, rather than just looking for that little symbol on the chocolate or the tea, I wonder if there's another way in which you can, look up more. Talk to Logan. Come and talk to me. Cool. Thank you. I'll pass over to Mr. Lars, because I know he's got something he wants to talk to you about.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Mr. Whaley, very much indeed. Ryan, if you could set up my little PowerPoint, please. I've just got a few certificates I'd like to give out before I say a few words. I've got some certificates here for some pupils in Year 7 who took part in a recent mathematical masterclass entitled Investigations with Pascal's Triangle, which was arranged by Mrs. Hamilton in conjunction with Plymouth University. So would Callum Burgess, Nathan Taylor, Emily Kim, Chloe Kim and Miss Dyer come and collect your certificates, please. I'd like to throw something over to you, please, to the pupil body. Since I've arrived, I've been thinking quite a lot about what it is that impresses me so much about so many of you. There's a real determination out there. There's grit, there's resilience, there's stickability, there's bounce-back ability. There's all sorts of lovely characteristics which typify Kingsley pupils. But I want to throw over to all of you as a community the opportunity to come up with a pupils' charter. I want to know what you think Kingsley pupils are like. Or perhaps more importantly, what Kingsley pupils should be like. To give you a few ideas, let me just share with you a couple of things. I'm not expecting you to read all these. Teachers will have seen these before. These are the criteria used by the Independent Schools Inspectorate to check whether schools like Kingsley are doing a good job. These are the criteria against which we are inspected. According to ISI, there are 16 things that we as a school should be doing. Here are the first 4. These are to do with your academic and other achievements. We are supposed to be doing as much as we can to enable you as individuals to make progress in these aspects of your learning. These are the next 4. We're supposed to be developing your ICT skills, your study skills, your all-round achievements and your attitudes towards learning. Are we doing this? How are we doing this? Are we doing it successfully? The next 8 talk about you as individuals, your personal development. According to ISI, you should be making progress in all of these areas. Understanding yourself, making decisions, having a spiritual understanding that there's more to life than just material things. Having a moral understanding, being able to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong in the way you behave with one another. And those are the final 4. We should be encouraging you to collaborate socially, to make positive contributions to one another, to the community, to respect one another's cultures and diversity. And lastly, we should be teaching you to stay safe and be healthy. These are the things that we as a school are being judged on. And when the ISI inspection team arrive at Kingsley, which will probably be in 2019 at some point, those are the things they're going to be looking at. What are we as a school doing to enable you to make progress? And it led me to think, well, I wonder what you think Kingsley pupils should be like. I hear the good and the bad. I hear the stories about kindness, about generosity. I hear about pupils supporting one another when times are difficult. I hear about and I see deep friendships. And when things go bad for you, somebody is always there for you. So I see the good. I also get to see and get to hear about some of the less good things. The times when you're unkind, the times when you're spiteful, the times when you are bullying, the times when you think that actually you are more important than everybody else, and that is reflected in how you behave. So I see and I experience as head the full range of those behaviours. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out which set of behaviours as headmaster I would rather see more of. Of course, I would rather see a school where people are kind to one another, where they do respect the diversity and the differences between us. Yes, we're different. Some of us are steeped in English culture. Others are steeped in Asian culture. Others are steeped in European culture. We are different people. We should celebrate that difference, not let it become a source of division and unkindness and hatred between us. Those of us who've studied any kind of history will know where that kind of hatred and division leads. So I would like to encourage you, the student body, to have a little think about what are Kingsley pupils like. And I'd like to throw over to you, and I'd like you to discuss this in your tutor groups. I'd like the school council to take hold of this as well. So when you have your next meeting with George and with Eleanor, I'd like you to start to talk about some of these things. I would love to see a Kingsley pupil charter. Very, very simple. 4, 5, 6 things. Doesn't need to be a long, long list. But things that you, the pupil body, think are important about being a student here at this school. What are Kingsley pupils like? Are they kind? Should they be kind? Are they resilient? Should they be resilient? What adjectives would you use to describe a good Kingsley pupil? I would love to have some feedback from you, the pupil body, about the things that you think are important. You are the ones that have the experience of growing up through school. You are the ones who know what it's like to be in lessons day in, day out, in boarding, day in, day out. I would love to know what you think. So I'm going to hand that over to you as a little bit of a project for you to run with for the rest of this term. I meet weekly with George, with Eleanor, with Ken and with Ellie. And in our weekly meetings we discuss many things. In my meeting with them this week, we'll be discussing this. And I'll be asking them to set a little bit of an agenda for the next school council meeting. I still want to hear your ideas, your concerns that you raise to a student council, but I would love for that to have a really positive outcome. And I think a pupil charter would be a cracking place to start. What do you think are the most important things about being a pupil here at Kingsley? We've had a rather disjointed week or so. Let's get back into the groove, please. Year 10 have started as they need to go on. They're off doing exams already this morning. Let's get straight back in to our lessons, please. Straight back into all of our activities and commitments. This is a very, very short second half of term now. We literally have 3 weeks and that's it. So let's make every second count. There's an awful lot to do. Let's press on, please, and let's get organised. As we end, are there any staff who need to make announcements this morning? Mrs. Stella does.
Because of the disjointed nature of last week, I really do need to see all of my Year 12 outdoors in the library straight after assembly. Can I also see Zara and Daisy Brunel as well in the library? Please, please make sure you turn up.
Thank you, Miss Makepeace.
I'd like to see 5 Year 9 students, if you could wait after assembly, please. They are Sophie, Poppy, Elijah, Ben Gifford, and one other Harry, please. If you're not in trouble, I have a favour to ask you.
Thank you. Woo.
There's a cupcake and milkshake sales tomorrow in junior school at lunchtime and break time, so please come over and buy some of those, please.
Thank you, Woo. Mr. Mathers.
There's a lot of fixtures going on in the next couple of weeks that I need to make you aware of. Senior basketball tonight is on against Shebir. Tomorrow we've got an under-15 football match at home, Shebir. That will be on the AstroTurf. Until further notice, everything's on the AstroTurf because the pitches are flooded, I'm afraid. Basketball and netball with the seniors. You're over at West Buckland on Wednesday. Those of you not involved in that fixture, you are going to be training for the Sevens tournament that we've got coming up. So if you played rugby last term, you'll be playing rugby on Wednesday, getting ready for a Sevens tournament the following week up near London. Thursday, there's under-13 footy and netball, all at home, but there's an under-14 fixture at 4 o'clock. Next Monday, JSLA. If you remember Year 11, you did your JSLA in a day format. Your next round of that is next Monday. On Tuesday next week, I'm up to Gloucester with the under-13s, with the Sevens tournament. And then on the Thursday, it's a Sevens tournament again with the seniors up in London. You can tell there's a lot going on. It's on the calendar, but I just wanted to raise that, highlight those few things there. If you're not sure, just ask me or look at the calendar. Ski trip. I sent out some forms that you must bring back. They should be back today. Those forms were basically saying you agree to the school policy on how you behave while you're away. If you don't behave, you get sent home at your parents' expense. Okay? And that's what you're signing. In fact, when you come to this school, I think you sign up to that anyway, but it's just having that on a bit of paper. Okay? And Year 11s, you must have noticed, I'm sure, that today is your GCSE filming day for moderation. So I need to see you. We might as well meet up in the library as well, so we can discuss that. Gabe, could I just quickly grab you in there as well, please? Thanks, sir.
Mr. Mathers. Any other staff announcements this morning? Marvellous. Can I just make a final reminder, there are a number of pupils in Year 12 who have on their timetable now some timetabled study periods in the library. Can I just make a very, very clear point to you? Those aren't optional extras that are there if you wish to attend. They're there because I'm asking you to attend. And if you have a problem with attending any of those periods, please book an appointment to come and explain to me why you think you should be exempted from being there. Otherwise, you will be there and you will take work with you, please, as well. Okay? Many thanks. Please stand.